Welcome back to the greatest show. I am JKL Harris. How are you folks doing today? Hello, hello, hello. Splash, good to see you. Welcome to Splash Tina. Submitting congratulations on being first. I'm still trying to figure out Meld. For some reason, in my starting soon, what's it called? That scene, I can hear sound alerts. No other scene can I hear sound alerts. So I'm gonna click one more button to see if that's the only thing that I was missing. Doing better today, that's good. I know you were sniffling last night. But anyway, we're back to Roottree Just a quick recap. Previously on, we figured out the entire family tree. Or so we thought. We got, starting with Elias and Gwyneth, got their 6 kids, the 6 pieces. Name Crocodile Ben Harris. Will it even let me? Oh, I can't anymore. I literally can't. I can't change his name. I have him locked in. So anyway, long story short, after we got the entire thing, including some secret names of the family, it's been established there's other names. We started with David Fellows, aka 5Ps. And found out that Guy Hudson is not a motherfucker. He's a mother maker. Thank you, Crank. Stole that from him. We know we've confirmed 4 of the 5 people he had affairs with, and I'm fairly locked in on this for Sonia. Obviously, Stephanie and Brian welcomed their beautiful kid, baby Carol. And then, well, Elias and Miracle also had their moments. I watched back the VOD because, frankly, I wanted to see what the hell I missed, because I'm sure I did. One thing I was assuming that I realized now I really need to make sure to get out of my head. One of my big hangups about Miracle was, as far as I could tell, Stuart was born by the time Miracle met Mary Beth. And I realized that's because I was misunderstanding this box. This box isn't saying both of these are Miracle's kids. Just like Christine and Guy probably only fathered one of these kids. Guy probably only fathered one of these kids. So what I need to keep in mind is these boxes are, hey, these are kids that were born with this person that had a relationship with the Roottree. Well, Roottree, Mr. Hudson. And beyond that, that's all it means. Don't worry about... We're not here to determine if Stuart is Miracle's kid. We're just here to figure out the whole family tree. And then the lawyers will do DNA results and we'll figure things out. So that's a big one. Obviously, I already figured out Stuart anyway, but I kind of realized, hey, that was a problem in my thinking, and I needed to change that, and I wanted to explain that of there's a good chance one of these kids is not Guy's. Doesn't matter. We're putting in both the kids. Same here. I don't need to figure out if James Garland or Robert Garland was the product of Guy and Christine getting down with it. I just need to figure out James and Robert. So that's one thing. As far as how the puzzle's going, Barb Williams, public speaker, fairly confident. Sharon Williams, picture, fairly confident. Hairdresser, I very much could find something that says otherwise. But for now, I'm that's my best guess. Sharon and Sharon, yeah. There's a number of different ways we know that is her first and last name. we know this is Sonia. I think news anchor is the best thing to put for her. Last name, literally the only thing we have to go off of is I was looking through the list of names that could be Portuguese because she's from Brazil. And the only interesting thing that came up with the last names, the possible last names, was this. Which is basically a result saying, can't find anything because the name is so common. Especially in the Portuguese-speaking world. So, like, in real life, this would be incredibly flimsy. But this ain't real life. This is a video game. So I'm running with it, as that's her name. But we need to figure out a fourth. And by the end of the stream, I was kind of feeling like I was running out of options. But I missed, or not missed. Going back through, there was one small thing and then one really big thing that I think I missed. The small thing, I think we can knock out pretty easily. We both have different parts filled, so I'm going to bounce while we're doing recording tonight. Hell yeah. Different parts. Interesting. Cool. Yay, Oberdin? Yeah. I've enjoyed Simidin's Oberdin so far. Go check out his YouTube if you want to know what we're talking about. Anyway, so where was this result? There was somewhere in the results for all this. Oh, I don't have an author for this. I guess, well, okay. Let's search this. Damn. Okay. Well, Cuba by Cubans is a book of paintings of Cuba released in 1963. It's credited to Marcia Barbin. At first glance, it doesn't seem related to your search anyway. At first glance. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Just be very careful. Hello. By Cubans. Cuba by Cubans is a book of paintings of Cuba released in 1963 and is credited to Marcia Barbin. On second glance, it still doesn't seem related to your search anyway. Okay. Well, now, the big thing, and something I was kind of complaining about, but I realized I should take their advice. So, in reminders, it says, this is a new investigation with a new focus after many months of newfound interest in the root trees. It is recommended you try to catch up with some of what happened since last time. I have not done this. We've caught up on some things, but I haven't made a just concerted effort. And so I think the first part of the stream that we're going to do is we're just going to literally fucking search everything. Well, is here to help? Hell yeah. Okay, so we haven't looked at this page yet. Much has changed over the last many months. The Roottree Candy Company, one of those things is its website. Although during your last search you only got a good look at the history page, the design itself has clearly become much more sleek and very corporate. Gone is any of your history focused on only its Roottree. Instead, the site sees focus on the present status of the candy offerings with high-quality JPEGs of each of their products. Also some small ads for Root, which is a clothing company owned by the Roottree Candy Company. A small section at the bottom lists the president as Clark Rafferty LaRue. Short bio mentions he's responsible for some of their marketing before taking the reins after the unfortunate plane crash. There's also a small memorial section for those that perished in the plane crash, including the Roottree sisters, Carl and Brenda, Kurt Johnson, Mark Sanchez, Trish King, and Eliza Nicholson. Okay. Probably none of these names are related, but the good news is it seems like all four of these names are here. Kurt Johnson and Mark Sanchez were the pilot and co-pilot of the Roottree jet during its crash last December. While the NTSB investigation has not been released, foul play has been ruled out. Trish King was on the cabin crew of the Rootree's private jet. Elizabeth Nicholson, who went by Eliza, lived in a house with her family about 200 yards from the section of the woods where the plane crashed. She reportedly had a heart attack during the commotion, and her family was unable to reach emergency services due to the overwhelmed phone lines of the ongoing storm. Her son-in-law managed to flag down an officer responding to the plane crash, but it was too late. Well, one other thing. So, something I realized, there is one more thing I want to talk about. Something I realized as closing out the game last time. Enable search all for periodicals is an option I could turn on. Enabling this makes certain puzzles significantly easier. I'm assuming what it does is, if I search this, I could just search every single periodical I have for something that says Kurt Johnson, and it'll just tell me if one of the results has it. That would make the game easier. I don't think I need to do it. Because, like, worst case scenario, I just do this. Piketty. A week after the Roottree sisters died in a plane crash, Piketty focused an expose on the pilot and co-pilot. It's widely seen as completely useless and an intentional mischaracterization of the two crew members. For example, they claimed that the co-pilot, who was pilot flying that day, was on pharmaceuticals, but turned out he had purchased a mild pain reliever in the airport gift shop the night before. So claimed the pilot had been let go from his previous position at a much larger airline, which was true, but only as part of a downsize. As far as you tell, none of it's relevant to your current investigation. Interestingly enough, this is under the Roottree sisters, not under his name. But it's fine. Don't think we're going to get anything else, but fuck it, I'm already here. Alright. I think we've searched Elias. I guess I can search Gwyneth. Nope, it's the same page for both of them, my bad. Okay, cool. Well, the action took place in and around Butler County, Pennsylvania. Let's search Butler County, Pennsylvania. Okay. Elias, Carl, and Raina were on the cover of magazines. Jim Roottree, actually, I've been thinking about, yeah. Jim and Diamond apparently sent out some mail to Diamond's Dazzlers that mentioned that they didn't spend a lot of time near or around the candy company anymore, so they couldn't really comment on any recent news. Best of album did get released to CD during Roottremania, and while neither of them have performed recently, the couple did do a few signings at local record stores near the estate. During question and answer sessions, Jim has stated he has been inspired to write any new lyrics. As far as you can tell, Jim and Diamond's marriage is still doing just fine. There have never been any rumors of infidelity about either of them. Okay. Lauren. Wake of Six Pieces release, Lauren Roottree, author of Life Between Wars, was tracked down by a reporter as being in one of the most upscale memory care facilities in Pittsburgh. She's relocated back to Pennsylvania when she began suffering from Alzheimer's. Crazy free spirits, being loyal, amazing. I mean, there's really only one person a generation, and even then, it skipped the next generation, which is kind of fun. Well, I guess Miracle exists in this like split thing where he's a 5-piece, but he also was in the pictures with the next generation. So I guess I don't know. There's a minor backlash towards the reporter that tracked Lauren down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy wall to take a photo of Lauren and her son Clark sitting on a bench outside the nearest wall pond on the premises. Okay, don't think that's relevant. Has been updated. Jeebus Paparazzi. Look to this. Ooh! Release of 6 pieces. Carolyn Morden did a television interview. Someone's uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Caroline and some of her family members. 45 minutes. This was a cable news interview. A transcript of only Caroline's answers and posted on a site about television. Thanks for having me. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all of her tractors, but I don't really think it fit her narrative. Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. But I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife. Not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother for the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth in the client. Found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but didn't like the entire woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. Slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. Rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I could say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farm, he stopped returning my calls. Oh well, he's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than Guy's, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. So this is Clark, right? Yeah, this is Clark. So, Clark about Carl. Edward Clancy, maybe? I mean, there's no insight in this, which makes me not sure how much more I can get, how much I actually am going to get out of this. This feels like another vector to a bunch of information we already had. And even then, like... What is it actually... What would it have actually told us? Because... I don't want to say this is wrong, but this isn't the whole story. I think it would have indicated guys' relationships. Man, I think that's the part that's like, I come back to of like, is a crack in this game and is really showing in Roottree is I can find out all the information I want, but without a picture, it doesn't matter. And it's really hard to find. It's been really hard to find the pictures. And I'm assuming I sort of have to know who I'm looking for to find the pictures. I guess I don't know that for sure, but like, I know who these two are. I think they're both. I'm pretty sure they're both chefs because of his what's it called? His dedication. I basically know who this is, but I don't have a first name, and without a first name, I've basically been at a loss. Yeah, so like I don't know. It's cool to read this from a puzzle, like from a oh, I want to know more about the lore, but like even the lore, like did you find out what the name of the restaurant in Boston was called? The Garland's opened? No. Were we even close to finding that out? Do we even know if he actually opened one? Like, I know they moved to Boston. Like, I guess that is another vector. But anyway, before we do that vector, we're still gonna do, oh. Does intuition only go down if we find the thing that it leads to? Interesting. Because this was it too. I think we found this. They did. Their sons took over me. That's how you get picked. So yeah, no, that's a good avenue of attack. Wait, what happened to Tommy? TMS has been in the news for his addiction both before and after the death of his wife, Raina. 2 months ago, he very publicly went into rehab. Since then, however, he's been seen in public a few times and appears to be doing better. He hasn't appeared in any new movies the last 8 months and has rarely appeared anywhere of note. I think I already searched both of these guys, but... Oh, I guess I haven't searched Gwyn. Gwyn Roottree was a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 50s. Her biggest role was in the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She died in Paris, France about 3 weeks ago. After leaving Hollywood, she made no effort to stay in the limelight. Most obituaries tend to focus on her largest role, Guys Like Us. Excuse me. Not much is known about her death, except it was announced that she died peacefully in her sleep while being treated for a sudden severe case of pneumonia. Before that, she had apparently been in relatively good health, according to her friends and family in Paris. She was 67. Did I... Not Robbie. Okay, yeah, I did read all this. Have I searched Clans at Trust yet? Yeah, because this is how I got to Ruby Legal Enterprises. I know I searched Ruby's name. Did I search? Oh, there's an S at the end that I didn't capture. Wait, what is this? Huh. How do I find this lawsuit? I wonder. Is it just gonna let me search both? No. So let's go through the periodicals about her, because her getting sued seems relevant. Newstime briefly covered a lawsuit between Ruby Spratt and Piketty magazine surrounding Cicely Sanchez. Said that Cicely didn't have the rights to redistribute the photos of the magazine of Guy Hudson. Piketty apparently announced they would be pulling their issue the following day, the moment that Ruby Legal Enterprises threatened them. This caused the issue to sell faster than any other in the magazine's history, though only for a day. Even people that would never have normally purchased it went out of their way to buy one, just in case it would be worth something someday. Especially caught the eye of conspiracy theorists who assumed that anything worth suing over would have to be hiding something. Expert legal analyst from News Times states that it was unlikely that Ruby could have had the story pulled if it had gone to court, and Piketty likely got more eyes in it than would have if the Rootttrees just ignored the story. Okay, well, so that did nothing. Guess, well, already, yeah. I can't remember if I read this. An issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages supposedly said as the batteries ran low, Piketty had an article about a canceled book by Cicely Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson, and the issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, this issue was pulled from store shelves, making the subject of some conspiracies an instant collector's item. Due to this recall, the version found in this archives is incomplete. Okay. Well, let's just confirm there's nothing else about Cicely Sanchez. What am I still missing from this page? I guess I could search Edward Clancy Roottree. This feels like I'm not going to get anything. Okay. Sam Matson. That's what you're going by now, right? If I've done this? I don't think so. 6 Pieces Unwrapping America's Sweetest Family by Sam Matson was released in early 1999, perhaps by the still relatively recent plane crash, shot to the top of the charts. Reviews were mixed as time of bestsellers list was limited to only 2 months. Most reviewers agreed that the core of the book, about Samantha's fathers and the struggles they faced, was compelling and the takedown of the hypocrisy of Elias Roottree was deserved. However, many took umbrage with the timing of the release and the tone of the book, which seemed vindicative. The fallout from the book led to the Roottree Company scrambling to release a statement and to a conflict of leadership, famously released multiple conflicting official statements over 3 days. This confusing move was referenced in popular culture due to a late-night sketch about indecision-itis, but more traditional analysts have been calling it the Roottree Rift. A few months later, due to Rootreemania, the book re-entered the charts and sold even better last time. This is not going to give me anything. It is going to give me probably nothing. Indecision-itis was a disease coined by a popular sketch show as part of a fake pharmaceutical advertisement for Jit Together. While the segment isn't fully about the Roottree Canning Company, it was released in the weeks after their bizarre response to the release of 6 Pieces by Sam Matson and references the recent news. In the sketch, a woman ordered a number 5 at a drive-through speaker, and after pulling forward, she changed her mind at the window and switched to number 3. This caused a lengthy backup and annoyance amongst the restaurant's employees and other patrons. After she pulled away as the employees began helping other customers, the same woman then barged into the restaurant and passed the current line, loudly complaining that she didn't receive her number 5. After this, the sketch transitioned from the restaurant scene into a pharmaceutical commercial. The doctor claims the woman was suffering from indecision-itis, a disease that causes extreme confusion and irritability, and has recently been found to severely hinder the leaders of large corporations, but could also spread to humans. Doctor then recommends Jit Together, a fake pharmaceutical drug. Multiple testimonies use various catchphrase. When I can't make my tough decisions, I've got to get my jit together. Final testimony includes a bald man in silhouette with a voice changer saying, I'm not comfortable sharing who I am, but I'm comfortable saying that before I took over my family's candy company, I really should have gotten my jit together. This is going to lead back to this, right? Yeah. That's well done, though. I wonder if there's something else with this that I've not searched. I don't think so. I've searched Clark, right? Yeah. Okay. I like Splash's idea. Let's see if we can find out the name of this new place. So Steve Garland? Was that it? Wait, really? I can't use that to search periodicals? Oh, I don't know if I've read this. Steve Garland has mentioned a couple articles. First was an article about he met his wife Christine when he worked at Antonelli's. Second is from months later in September of 78, a listing for his weekend cooking classes, Gourmet for the Groovy. Blair mentioned he's been giving lessons from his home kitchen for the last month, so he can keep an eye on his son. Third was from 91 and is titled Local Author Sued by Former Butler County Resident. It seemed that a local author by the name of Mark Zimmer was sued by Garland after Garland saw Zimmer promoting his book Kitchen Tales on television. His recipe book was partially plagiarized from the recipes that Steve Garland would give his students during his cook lessons before he moved. Starting Factorio again? Hell fucking yeah. The factory must grow. Arlo mentions that although recipes are hard to copyright, Garland accompanied each recipe with a short fiction about how he learned it. He usually doubles his way to remember certain ingredients. Garland's bean salad, for example, involved making a trade with a gnome for some magic beans. Apparently, stories were found word for word in Zimmer's cookbook. I don't think. Well, that didn't let me hear it. That's annoying. Apparently, stories were found word for word in Zimmer's cookbook, in addition to additional stories that follow the same format. Sip nerd, thank you. Simonin comes in and says sup nerd. Booty Jiggler comes in and says sip nerd. Damn. So, this is a puzzle game or whodunit? It's a puzzle game. There's not really well, there is one whodunit, which we have figured out, which is who fucking who fathered all of these kids? Which one person fathered all these kids? This guy. This guy. But now we gotta figure out who the fuck the kids are. The game starts as you figure out a family tree, which we've done that. We missed one picture. Stupid thing. But now there's an addendum now that we've figured out the whole family tree. This is post game content, but it's a new game. I don't know. Anyway. Seems fancy. It's very fancy. Very fun. Wait. How am I supposed to get things from this fucking page? Those names even mean anything? Oh no, don't fucking tell me that there's only so many names that this could be. And that's how I'm supposed to figure out his fucking first name. Problem is, like, there's a couple of names in here where I'm like, well, it could be named for his grandfather. But I don't know. Anyway. What was the book called? Kitchendale's. Junbei is usually a female name. Yeah, no, I'm gonna sidetrack myself. I think Junbei is a name we already know, and it's for someone else anyway. And again, we would need a picture anyway, so it doesn't, like, trying to blindly guess the name doesn't really do much. What was this called? Garnishing the Truth. Oh, it was just like Zimmer and Garland, right? Yeah. I never did search this. McCarran's Brewhouse is a pub in Boston. They have a website. Apparently the bar's been around a long time. On the site, there's a list of famous people. List of famous people who have had a drink there, including former president of the United States on the Roottree Company, Kennedy. There's also a few listings of television shows and books that have mentioned McCarran's, as well as how they came up. One of them is Garnishing the Truth, which the site has this to say about. Local and regular Stevie G wrote a book about food. We prefer cocktails, but he gives a shout out. We ain't going to say no to free press. So go grab a bite as kids joint fried eye. They should buy to meet him for a drink. Stevie G. Fried Eye is a fairly popular restaurant in Boston. They don't have a website, but many locals see mention them in various places. A more in-depth review explains it's not a full restaurant, just a front door and a very small interior with a window. Usually the restaurant only serves vegetables, and a lot of reviews say that in spite of that, it's delicious. So find a short story about it listed on a website called My Boston Homepage. Whoever runs the page seems to just link to random sites related to Boston, tell personal anecdotes related to Boston, and give their relatively short opinions on things in Boston. It's very unorganized. How does this say about Fried Eye? Wicked overrated. I saw it in Chef's Signature, so I went and there was a huge line. It didn't have a single meat dish. What's even the point? Chef's Signature, eh? Chef's Signature is a magazine related to food and trendy restaurants that cover subjects all over the United States. All right, so we're searching Fried Eye in Chef's Signature. Wow. Chef's Signature covered Fried Eye less than a year ago, right around the time you're doing your initial investigation. Each article in Chef's Signature tends to focus on a restaurant, and like the magazine's name implies, each restaurant lists the one main dish that the head chef is known for. Fried Eye Signature is the samosa cone. Cover main articles, but not your evidence. Can a vegetarian diet be trending? Sitting down with the Garlands, the new boys in Boston. Let's read this, and then if we have to guess. Chef's Signature, a nationally published magazine targeted towards fans of unusual restaurants, featured James Robert Garland on the cover of their November '98 issue. According to the article, the two brothers own a small walk-up window in Boston called Fried Eye, a play on the tie-dyed shirts that the servers wear, either wearing tie-dye shirts, that exclusively serves vegetarian dishes. Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. Their signature dish is the samosa cone, which from a distance somewhat resembles a traditional ice cream, complete with waffle pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and a special ginger-based sauce. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James. Cool. Jokes that although the age difference left him delegated to wear the sous chef jacket his whole life, he doesn't mind. Okay, so this is Robert. We have something wrong. We're going to have a lot of optional entries locked in, too. Okay. There's one I was curious about. Booyah. So it's Portuguese lady. We probably don't have her job right.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have
They're
to say,
here together.
is fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up.
Suspicious.
They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Who have I actually submitted that's a new root tree?
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
We've got 1, 2, 3. That's the Williams. 4, 5. I mean, the Stewart, I don't think is a root tree, but they're going to check him out. Felix, they already knew about. So that's just 3 for Guy. And then, do they really need to verify Carol? That's 5 people. Or sorry, that's 8. 8. That's 8.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
Fuck me. That's why there's legal assistance.
Good luck.
I mean, it's a new firm. They might not have them.
And keep up the good work.
Oh, you're not even going to give me any new evidence, are you? No, they're fucking not. Oh, fuck me. Okay. I mean, I didn't think I was, but, like, it just confirms it. There's still one left in the reminders. It was... What the What is going to be in here that I haven't figured out yet? This Emily... It's not. There's no way. There's nowhere else for Emily Barnes to be. I guess... Something in here probably... Something in here probably leads me to Susan Ford's kids. Grandorf Dove, what is that? The Grandorf School for the Deaf, formerly Grandorf Dove, is located about an hour from where the Roottree offices used to be in Butler County, but serves much of that part of Pennsylvania nearby Ohio. According to their website, it is formerly named Grandorf Dove because Grandorf was the last name of the founder, and Dove is the Danish word for deaf. That thing? That thing? Why does my mod hate deaf people? Or Danish people? Or both? Okay. His wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station. What would that be? Is that actually Media Mogul? It seems like a stretch, but I don't know what else to put her as. Or CEO? I feel like I'm definitely not putting CEO unless I see CEO. This game was very particular about, like, for instance, the presidents. You don't put CEO, they're presidents. And so I'm gonna stick with following that. Like she specifically was listed as CEO. Anyway. I guess what is there anything else I could search in here?
J.K.L. Harris smells like syrupy waffles. Saying he smells good?
Fuck
the
off.
2-month streak, 19-month total? Fuck off. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, I guess we don't know what she was doing the last 10 years. You already looked at this. His mother's name's Sonia. Somebody who's part of a fucking media takeover. Sao Bernardo do Campo is a real place in Brazil. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson looked up cities in Brazil that had a lot of manufacturing, so he could place a fictional factory there. He did not want to offend any Brazilians with the tale he was writing that involved corruption and politics. Small town name he made up of Lagos, where the factory was located, was invented by mixing two other regions, Interlagos and Alvarenga. I think I'm doing this with a Spanish accent when this is Portuguese. Formative but not useful. Yeah. Fortunately, that seems to be this entire post-game thing. I think I've searched, like, all of this. Oh, I guess, you know what I haven't searched? No, not that. I don't know if I've done this. I haven't done this. Grandorf School for the Deaf has made a few odd appearances here and there at the Butler County Times since 1990. It's not too many you can't look at all of them, and so after scrolling through a few pages, you've managed to find something incredibly useful, an article that doesn't even focus on the school itself. Local students provide key evidence in scientific study. The article from March of this year mentions that the Ford sisters, who attended public school in Butler County, are one of only a handful of identical twins in the world who suffer from two different genetic issues. One of them has asthma, and the other has a deadly allergy to peanuts. Their mother, a Miss Susie Ford, who is principal at the nearby Grandorf School for the Deaf, was really contacted by researchers looking to identify if there are any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. She didn't have any twins attending her school. She asked if her daughters, Melissa and Heather. Let's just assume that's in order. Because especially if they're twins, there's not going to be much to go off of. They couldn't be more different. My youngest, we all call her that, even though it's only by 15 minutes, is shy, but essentially hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asthma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's a definition of expert, is even performing a local production of Is There Life After High School later this year. Article includes a picture of the girls. Add to your evidence. Okay, so you have asthma, and is that a EpiPen? It's got to be, right? Oh yeah. Twin on the left is holding an inhaler, and the twin on the right is holding an EpiPen. Photo accompanying an article about a scientific study in the Butler County Times. 4 twins were used as part of a nationwide study on how allergies and other diseases affected twins differently. Okay, so the older one has asthma. And then they're both students. K-12. Yeah, they'd be 16. Unfortunately, I still need, like, a lot more. I wonder if there's anything about the production. I don't know what it would add, but we can try. Is There Life After High School is a musical. It's quite obscure, only appearing on Broadway for 70 performances after a preview period. Nowadays, it's mostly performed by smaller theater troupes, including high school drama clubs. If you couldn't tell by now, a game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson was in musical theater all 4 years of high school. There's one song from it that has somewhat surpassed the popularity of the rest of the musical called The Kid Inside. If you'd like to listen to it, I recommend Barry Manilow's version. If you heard the song before, it's likely that cover. The entire musical deals entirely with the traumas and nostalgia that society collectively shares about their formative years, which feels appropriately thematic for this game. I've always thought of it as somewhat ironic that they have high school theater clubs perform it, though. Anyway, the keyword in that Butler County Times article was local. Like, this is kind of cute, but also, like, fuck me. I'm trying to figure out a puzzle. Have it be liner notes somewhere. How much time do I have? Okay. Quick little aside. Lucas Pope has done a number of different like interviews and recordings of like to Oberdin playthroughs and stuff like that. And basically it's like a director's cut of a movie where you get the commentary while stuff's going on, and that seems like the perfect place to do stuff like that. And like I'm glad the dev is excited. Like genuinely, this game isn't as good if the dev isn't this excited. But also like at a certain point, like this end part has really dragged on because it's like, well, shit, I have to scour this in case there is something that I'm going to miss. Because I have to wonder if not here. I have to wonder if this line of text was a big mistake. If this is the only actual thing that like the game says isn't useful and actually is. If that's true, then like that sucks but like Lucas Pope literally has admitted to, hey, there's things I shouldn't have done with my puzzles. But the fact that this line is in here and yet that book leads to this entire thing means I can't just trust the game telling me, hey, this isn't useful. And so I wish some more of this was in a place where, hey, if I really love this game, I can go watch that later and find out even more about the game. At least we got pictures, true. All right, so I'm going to run this ad. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. See you soon. All right, I'm back. Finally free to watch my favorite streamer play this game. Wow, this is so engaging. You know what's even less engaging? Clicking on a link saying my favorite streamer is live, and then they're not live, and then nothing updates when they go live because Twitch doesn't refresh when streamer does go live. All right. We're slowly knocking out Guy, but we still have all this. So, something interesting that I guessed, and oh, we do have this picture. And it's got to lead somewhere, knowing this. So, Sharon Williams married Drew Smith. Here's the wedding picture. Here's her mom / sister. Here's her. Here's Drew. Here's this guy. We have now locked in that this guy is her second husband. Now, first husband died in a tragic accident. We are not shaming her for this at all. It's just a very, very interesting thing. But I don't know how we're gonna go fucking find that. I guess the easiest way is apparently we still have 3 things to find from this. Hey, look, it's your mom. Hey, look, it's your mom. It's your mom. The interesting thing about this is an actual publication. The game kind of is like, tries to make it out to be shady, but it's an online publication. The game's also fucking weird about this one, which turns out she was a journalist who also was on this tour and had good things to say about her. Can't. This whole thing, the superintendent of Benton County, doesn't lead anywhere. Isabel Crosby, according to flyer on Barb Williams' website, is superintendent of Benton County. There's Benton County in 9 different states in the U.S. There has been a Benton County in Florida since 1850. You're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. I think I've searched superintendent. Did I spell that right? I guess I could just search this. This is the only dead end of these 3. But the game's made it pretty clear that these 2 people actually exist, which makes me concerned that this one is relevant and maybe is where my dead end is, but oh, you know what? I looked up Vic. I never looked up Chris. Oh, it just links back to this. No archives of older issues. So, found more by doing this. Look up small town America. I mean, wasn't small town America? What are you expecting me to find with this? Or are you just asking me to search it because it's capitalized? Because if I just search everything that's capitalized, I'm gonna be here all day. Honestly, don't expect anything. Then why? But it is a newspaper? No, it's not. Kiki Falls Gazette is presented as a monthly newspaper of the concept of small town America. I'll search it. But it is not a newspaper. The void is ascending. The void. So I've read this. Speaking of the void. Yeah, this is how we found lanes across America. Then if I search lanes across Miami. Then this gave me. Where did I? Swear I found more. I understand if searching for Sharon Smith brings you back to this page. Searching for Sharon Smith bringing up nothing is... frustrating to say the least. It's gonna be really fixed too. You've looked up lanes across Miami and lanes across America. Did you look up LAM and LAA? You. According to dictionary results that popped to the top of your search, you learned the word lamb means to hit someone. Apparently, lamb is too common a word to provide you with any specifics. And then this gets LAA. Because the Angels were still just the Anaheim Angels, not the Los Angeles Angels. It makes sense you can't search LAM because they want you to try to guess what this means. Which means Miami. Did I search peace across America? No. Blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't help me. Piece of Asia. There we go. You know what? Okay. Here's what I'm missing. So I'm trying to find out more about their kid. And I've been trying to search Piece of Asia in Business Watch, but the trick that I'm missing is it's about CEOs. Damn. What about you? Damn. What about this? What about Jerry Han? This is... Is Pittsburgh in Butler County? Does not look like it. It is just north of Pittsburgh. Is Jerry Han guy's son? No. Lang Jinyao. Lang Jinyao is Lang Jinyu's sister. So, and Lang Jinyu did, I'm doing air quotes, did IVF for her sister, Lang Jinyao. That's not how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it? I'd like average NA pronunciation. Brother, I watch you play Oberdin. Don't put this on NA. It's more of a sh, right? That's what I'm fucking up. Yeah. But anyway. So, long story short, these two have a kid. That kid is this person. That's why I know their last name, or why I'm going that the last name is Han. Because it's going to have... The official story is it was an IVF child of these two. So therefore, it's going to have their married last name, which, well, their married family name, which we put last, but they put first. So that's why I'm trying so hard to figure out who the hell more about their family, because somewhere maybe it's here. One second, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. There was very, very, very large vehicle driving by very, 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 very slowly. And shaking things and all that fun stuff. Okay, fuck. Next time I see it, I gotta highlight it so I know where to go find it. Somewhere in this whole mess, I guess maybe... somewhere in this mess, we've found mention that her nephew is supposed to take over for her. Was it Roottree China? No. Somewhere in this whole mess of things. Mentioned the previous article about a nephew? Which article? I've clicked back. The one about Shinyu. Okay. Oh, her nephew is currently her second in command. Is going to take over with your tires. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Thank you. Shinyu. So how do we find this nephew's name? How do we find the picture? This is just probably actually the more important thing. It's, yeah, just an article on a website written by 4 women. I have searched Empowered, and it didn't give me anything. Unfortunately, like, yeah. I mean, I guess it is fortunately. The game makes sure to not give you, like, websites that aren't relevant. This entire thing is a summary of that article. So, yeah. I guess. So we've read this. Guess we go through everything again. Am I just gonna have to do the brute forcing of, like, like searching all these names. The other one, Hong Yu, in case he was named after family members. Okay. I know what you said. I'm just gonna about this probably about this being a feminine name. I'm just gonna. I don't have much to go off. Hey, look, it's your mom. This is someone else. What the fuck? You know, looking through this list of names, I'm starting to think he's gonna his parents have anglicized names. They have their Chinese names and anglicized names. There's a non-zero chance he also has. Now here's the frustrating thing. Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as Lang Tai. So why is there no articles about it in Business Watch? Linnea Jerry Han, didn't I just do that search? Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever searched this. Incendio de Bordo translates to Maple Fire. At 82, the factory was deliberately attacked in case of clear arson. Fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production floor, and locals claimed the air smelled like a mix of burning plastic and maple syrup. Factory is built, continues production to this day. Time is unknown why this happened, but last year, News Special did list this incident as well as a few others. The small town was backlash to perceived corruption of the government at the time. According to the report, the mayor of the city is found to be receiving because of the factory's profits. Okay, so I was supposed to search that to make it clear that the mayor was involved, but also I got a picture of him. You give me a picture, I'm putting it down. Did I search? I think I searched these. Ah. It just comes back to this. You know what? I don't know if I ever searched this in Business Watch. Nope, that doesn't do me. Oh. I've not searched you. Don't fucking tell me. Huh. French mentioned. Yeah. I guess I don't know if it'll be relevant, but hey, look at your paper. I don't know if I ever looked you up in Business Watch. No. Oh. Because, like, I don't think I'm gonna find the answers about these two over here. Again, one of the common complaints I saw about this game, and even the positive reviews mentioned that ROOTTREEMANIA just seems to double down on the mistakes of the base game, is how self-contained each of the families are. I don't think I'm going to find much about this person or this person by looking up stuff over here or over here. And I can mess around with Sonia Alves, well, with her last name and her job title. But I need 2 more pictures to even begin to start messing around with stuff, let alone jobs. Is business person? No. God, I don't even know what you do for the company besides be second in command. If we look at it this way, CEOs aren't human, so the child probably doesn't exist. Hey, they made that joke. They're just manufacturing for him. It doesn't matter until I find a picture. Trying to think of what else on this page could lead to something. Like, maybe I'm focusing on this too much. But same with this. There's 2 things on here. There's still 2 things on here, even though we found those pictures. Which means I'm missing something else. I've already looked this up. It means watermelon. I don't know what I can do with that. Besides, this is clear evidence that was putting money into the Chinese market. Am I just gonna fucking search all of these? Or Seinfeld. I could just start searching the events. Concerned that the 2 just refers to the stuff that I already have about them. You know what? Fuck it. Let's see if we can knock out some of these intuition numbers. That's what I come back to. Was it Greta Flores, I think, is... So this comes back to this. We have the book, the 25 Stories of Sisterhood. Oh. You know what I haven't searched? Sherry Smith? Oh, right. There's already my evidence. But... wait, where the fuck is it? No. Oh, yes. This doesn't lead to anything. Unless they're just lying about intuition at this point, which... I got this picture without putting anyone in. It was at 0 intuition. And obviously that was incredibly helpful. Oh, Cass says I'm stinky. Thank you. there anything else I can get from this picture that helps me figure out who her kid is? Sorry, her nephew? Some manufacturer... Some manufacturer packaging for American products. What is that supposed to mean? Also, this has zero intuition. That. What am I missing from this? What was this? There was like another thing about this. Ah, okay. There's not a new version of this. Anything new about this? No. Cass, how are you doing today? Ruby's sure been in the news a lot for not having anything relevant. Yeah, I don't know what intuition from this is supposed to mean, because I can get to just about anything from searching through stuff like this. Back to this. This is either the most annoying red herring ever or the most annoying The most annoying red herring ever, or the most annoying puzzle piece ever. The interesting thing is Washington and Oregon both have a Benton County, and which puts both of them near Portland. Or so both of them are near Portland. So I guess thought the title went to your mom. Which title? The Biggest Cutie? Because yes, that went to my mom. Do I just keep searching periodicals for who the frick this is? Okay, you know what? If I'm literally just gonna be doing this over and over again, we're just gonna do this. So how does this work? Search all. Okay. All right. So it does that. Do what I did during Obra Did. Obra Despair? Give up and fill whatever you're left with afterwards into each slot till they fit. That's what I've genuinely been doing that. The problem is I need pictures. I can't fill any of these in without pictures, and I can't get the pictures without doing searches. Picture these. Nothing about Barb Williams. Sharon Williams, Sharon Smith. Interesting. Okay. Piketty Magazine is kind of sleazy, so they're not afraid to publish a few details that more reputable news publications normally wouldn't. Look at the Billy Sims incident, seems they did a report on it. You get a few new bits of information, though it might not be useful. Billy Sims was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing their products on animals. According to police paperwork, Crocodile Peptide's bail was paid for by Tostarito Jacobson. It's fairly expensive. Piketty interviewed other students that were at the event to find out if anyone knew anything. The word around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. Is Tostarito a tortilla chip? Maybe. Okay, so that's not it. News Time did a small piece about a fight between Sims and Crocodile, but tried to approach it from a different perspective. Their goal was to paint a picture of the two men involved from others who knew them best. Not only did they manage to interview Sims' wife Carla, as well as multiple staff members of the school, but they hunted down Colleen Webb, Mark's ex-wife. Colleen Webb. According to a section with Colleen, she and he met when he worked for an airline. She worked at an airport newsstand. He was a drinker, would often have wild mood swings. When he was charged with assault of a fellow pilot in 75 and lost a job, they divorced. At the time she was pregnant with their second daughter, she felt she needed to get out before things got worse. She left and moved to San Diego to live with her sister and told her oldest that her dad had to fly planes for the Army. She raised them both by herself, and though she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally, they used the Webb names so that nobody would connect them to her ex-husband. Okay, so they're Clementines. His daughter Mary. Well, so he has two daughters. So when was the fight? 94. So 94 from 76 to 94, that would be 18. So Mary would be the younger. Mary Webb in San Diego has a website called Webb on the Web. Apparently, it's a personal travel diary that also doubles as an advertisement for a travel agency. I've been looking at that travel agent. Descriptions of Mary's services, including booking flights and cruises, all of them involve extremely niche audiences. It seems Mary is the number one agent when it comes to booking spiritual vacations aboard ghost ships, and specific hotel rooms are said to be haunted. She has a dedicated section for more traditional modern cruises that cater to a specific group, such as fans of boy bands. The diary entry, she talks about the trips she's personally taken, and uses that as an opportunity to feature descriptions of amenities and excursions the ships offer, even when you're on them to see a specific band or ghost. Also pictures of ships, hotels, and places she's visited, as well as a picture of Mary herself with a ship in the background. One of her diary entries actually mentions the day that photos were taken. She was allowed onto the ship on a port day in San Diego with a professional photographer she knows. A photo of Mary's been added to your evidence. Mary Webb, from her website, Webb on the Web Paranormal Travel Agency. She's apparently found a niche booking vacations for lovers strange and unknown. It's a photograph of Mary in front of an alleged ghost ship from the 1800s. It was lost at sea and turned up without any crew several years later. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Fans love touring come up with their own paranormal theories. Is this the Oberdin? A company called Corporate Composition Photography is listed on the top left. Corporate Composition Photography is a photography studio that was listed on a few different sites for businesses in San Diego. It's even been possible to hire them to take professional quality photos for businesses of all sorts. As far as you can tell, it appears to no longer exist. The company has also mentioned a photography site with some IRC chat logs. These like the site's personal page of a member of an IRC photography channel, archives the logs they've been saving since 93. One of them was from 96, when Val, the former head photographer from Corporate Composition Photography, did a QA with a user about taking pictures for promotional materials and print ads. Most of the questions are pretty technical. They not only seem relevant, but generally go over your head. One of the questions I mentions that Val was on the cover of Telephoto and asked about Iraq. The question was quickly shut down by the person running the QA. He said Val does not wish to answer any questions from his photojournalism days, or does he wish to talk about LBP. Keep this on the subject of commercial photography. LBP. Discovered every periodical. Well, let's put Mary in first. Yeah, that is very good to know. Okay, so I am now searching Val. Wait. No, that's Vic. Val. Searching for LBP, you get a wide variety of results. LBP stand for Lebanese pound, also known as lira, lower back pain, lead-based pain, low blood pressure, Louisiana border pharmacy, Long Beach Peninsula. Some businesses also have the acronym LBP. Your results include Lynch Building Plastics, Luxury Bridal Photography, Lexington Business Payroll, Lincoln Baby Photography, Laura's Bras and Panties, Logline Book and Publishing. I think both those photography things are going to be... Oh, maybe not. Maybe one of these isn't a red herring. Luxury Bridal Photography is a photography business, which is a good start. Unfortunately, it seems like it's located in Ireland, and its owner's named Nicholas. He goes by Nick Luxury. You doubt that's his real name. It's very unlikely that this is related to what you're looking for. All right, Lincoln Baby Photography. Don't fail me now. Lincoln Baby Photography seems like a solid lead. As mentioned, it's Val, an award-winning photographer on the page. It's a business in Beacon, New York, and on the site is a picture of a baby and a camera captioned with Cam Lincoln reaches your first namesake. I guess he takes after his father, Val. Bottom website says copyright 98.99. Pictures been added to your evidence. Why do I know that that's relevant? I mean, I as a player know it's relevant. Because they wouldn't give me this otherwise, and how hard it's been to find pictures. But why would I... Anyway, let's lock this in. Let's put the baby in. Unknown occupation. No, your baby. Cam Lincoln. All right, what am I at now? That's 2. That's 4. Is it time to start clicking through jobs? Well, we got an ad coming up, so let's run that first. But then we might have to be clicking through jobs. So I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. See you soon. All right, we're back. Okay, I need to address one obvious problem. I don't know for sure that's her main name. I'm literally just going off of that. If I search Sonia Alves, it's a fairly common name. I guess, let's see. Is there any other names where I'm like, oh shit. Luxury's in here. Hell yeah. There's already another Salazar. I guess I could search it and see if it comes up with something, but yeah. I'm fairly confident this is right. What other jobs could she be under? She's split up, so housewife seems weird, but I just don't want to click through a bunch of stuff. But I don't know that I really have a choice. I mean, I have a choice. I could try and find more, but because, like, incredibly confident about this, right? I guess I should have kept open the things that had the two names just to verify that they... Where's their picture? Was it this? Okay, so Melissa and Heather. I guess I don't actually know that Melissa's that it's this order. I know the pictures are in that order. The youngest is shy, but essentially hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. And asthma's kept the oldest off the soccer field. So the oldest has asthma. The youngest needs the EpiPen. Did I find anything else? So Heather's the old... Wait, why would Heather be the older one? I guess... Okay, so Heather's the older. Heather's the older. So yeah, okay. That's the trick. Okay. Well, so now we gotta go back to Media Mogul. There we go. That was what we were wrong on. Booyah. All right. We have almost completed Guy. And we're actually one away from Miracle's stuff. This is going to be a problem. The other thing I'm concerned about, I think it's fairly safe to say, I feel confident that Ruby is gonna be one of the names in here. But I have no idea how we're gonna connect her family, who would have been her dad or her mom. Very, 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 very pointedly, where is it? Maybe it was just in the text. What is her name again? Ruby Strat? Do I have it somewhere? No, I should. Let's just make sure there's not one I'm missing. Ruby Sprat. Well, this feels irrelevant until we get these four and Mr. Han. Okay. Val Lincoln. Okay, fine. Search periodicals, telephoto. Feature telephoto cover, which feature one of his photos, as well as portion of articles to add to your evidence. Ah! He met his wife in Iraq. In the Gulf War. It's Clementine. Yep. We can get a picture of her. This portrait cannot be used as family tree. There's been no red herring pictures, and I don't think they're going to start anytime soon. Telephotos of Photographer magazine. This 1992 issue focuses on the photos of Val Lincoln, a photographer who went overseas during Desert Storm. He won the SEPI Award for photojournalism, specifically with a photo on the cover. She's doing the thumbs up thing! Val got a start in high school when he took a photography class because, in his own words, he couldn't decide what else to do and thought it would be the best career in the world to shoot for Playboy. Quickly found he had a knack for it, began to skip lunch in his free periods to spend more time in the darkroom. After graduating, he tried to pivot to landscape photography, but didn't have the passion for it. Worked much better when trying to tell a story of a person or an object. He got lucky when a photographer mentor of his who was going overseas to cover the war decided to take a chance on him. Most people wouldn't call it lucky to go to an active war zone for no pay, but he bought my plane ticket, all my meals, and he pulled some strings so he could rush my passport. For someone that had never had a real job or even left California, it was a hell of a break. Val was only 19 at the time and shot the photo that won him an award the third night he was there. The photo depicts Lisa Clementine, who lost an arm in Operation Desert Saber. Oh. Okay. Desert Saber was like the first phase. Yeah. So Desert Storm is the name of the air-land conflict from 17 January 1991 through 28 February 1991. Desert Saber was the air-land offensive from the 24th to the 28th, specifically. According to the article, women were not subject to direct combat, and Lisa was in a vehicle at the time. The vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead was partially destroyed. She and a fellow soldier were severely injured by a landmine. Val says, I ran to Lisa just after her surgery and took this picture. Then, until she shipped out, I kept finding excuses to go back and take more pictures for her. I guess it was fate, because that's the photo that won me an award, got me into your magazine, and also led to my engagement. This earlier week, she agreed to become Mrs. Lincoln. I wonder what she's... I wonder what her job's going to be, though. I guess it doesn't say she got out. Did the Army have a base in San Diego in the 90s? I guess it didn't matter, because only know of Navy? What the fuck? What do you mean only of Navy? The Marine Corps Recruit Depot is literally the other side of is literally right next to the airport. Only know of Navy. Sheesh. Marines are everywhere. Everywhere is theirs. Marines are everywhere except Korea and Italy and Germany and you may ... me, but it's actually a very big deal that Marines are... that it is just the Army, Navy, and Air Force in a lot of our overseas places, and that even in Japan, the Marine Corps' presence is limited. Okay. So I'm gonna just, you know what? Fuck it. There are plenty of people who were able to stay in. Do we search? What do we need? I mean, I guess I can. Lisa Lincoln. But I don't... Besides not knowing her job. She's a professor. Lisa Lincoln is, according to military website, you find an amputee lost limb in Desert Storm. She runs a support group for fellow veterans of Beacon, New York. She makes another appearance listed as a professor at West Point, a military college. I mean, technically correct. Technically correct. If for some reason you guys don't know, West Point, aka the United States Military Academy, is the preeminent place for training U.S. Army officers. They have some notable, there's some couple people that have graduated there you've probably heard of. Dwight Eisenhower, Ulysses S. Grant. We're not going to point out the traitors. William Tecumseh Sherman, John Pershing, Douglas MacArthur, Omar Bradley, George Patton. Yeah. It's a military college like Harvard's a civilian college. Teaches classes that contribute to their environmental engineering major. Her short biography on the staff page mentions that she had a passion for the military from a very young age, due to erroneously believing that a family member was an Air Force pilot. Well, she later learned that to be untrue. Her passion remained. She joined ROTC in high school. From there, she enlisted. Fucking idiot. Doing JRTC in high school and then enlisting instead of going ROTC in college. was just gonna type something like that about Harvard. Yeah. Returning from Desert Storm, sharing her degree, and relocated to West Point to teach a few years ago. Okay, well, cool. How the fuck are we figuring this out? What do we... What am I still missing from this? There's too much here. I've literally... I feel like I've gone over most of that. What the Okay, we're still at 3 here. Well, that's because I haven't locked in anything. Bar 1 with 3 is annoying. Yep. I am... Do we just keep doing this? Greta Flores... Should just be... That's just what it was called? This brings me right back here, right? Yep. I just am so confused where I'm supposed to go from here. So... This, as far as I can tell, only leads to Lanes Across America, which then leads to Lanes Across Miami and Drew. But then what? I've tried searching Sharon Smith, got nothing. Let's see. Sherry Smith. Sherry Williams. Sharon Smith. Where did we get that she was a hairdresser? I don't remember. Oh, no, we got it from... Sherry's... Ooh. Okay, here we go. It was Sherry's Hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry Jastrzemski. Jastrzemski? It's a mouthful. Sherry has a large van. On weekends can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. I just realized something incredibly annoying. She was married to Drew first, right? So why is this going right to left? Is this the last child she had? Is this the first child she had? For aesthetic reasons? But the problem, siblings are in birth order. Oh, you know what? This is also backwards for Clark. I just realized that. Oh, that's annoying. That's super annoying. I can't believe I missed that before, but... Alright, so... Brittany, Christina. Let's start with Brit. Wait, what? There's no Brittany. Oh. Never mind. It's the fucking 90s. She's referring to Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Rachel from Friends? Oh, no, because she's being Spears and Aguilera Friends. Thank you. Okay. The About Sherry section is very, very long and presented as one paragraph, multiple run-on sentences, and no pictures. Yet since you were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. Mentions that her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. Peter. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it's growing beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. His two listed accomplishments are easy. The oldest, he's straight A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently, his little league team is nationally recognized. Okay, so Tony, Mark, Cricket. Anthony. How do you spell this Mark? With a C, like Anthony. I think Mark is the baby. Cricket York is near the end, has an entire section dedicated to her. Oh, York. Wait, why? She's an actress on a local television show called Library, and there's a Sherry located from Miami to Orlando. Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come here do your due, is a stylist for the show. Passage also mentioned her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it's easier to pronounce. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but seems unimportant in your search. Okay. No, Cricket's definitely... Passage also mentions your age recommend they change your last name to York since it was easier to pronounce. York is, first off, starts with the same letter. Not going to be easier to pronounce than Smith. Okay. What is this? Cool. Library is a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It's in the air since '91. The show, multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Library. Like some other popular shows involving non-human performance, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. It includes textbook manufacturers like Core Arithmetic, I guess that makes sense. Tutoring companies such as Educate2U, a few well-known publishers of picture books, where you can find and syndicate in a few markets across the southern United States and in New Hampshire for some reason. Like most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it tend to have fond memories. It works in your favor because the show's been documented by a few fan sites. It's even a library web ring, though it only has 3 entries. Click through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in '97 at the age of 5 and still is a current cast member. Picture Cricket from one of her first episodes, so it's been added to your evidence. Promotion shot of Cricket York and the puppet Poof Tail from 1997 when she was on a show called Library. Her website you found on the theme of this episode tackled why some people need glasses. All right. She's an actor. Interestingly enough, I wonder. Mark's in Little League. Does that make him an athlete or a student? I'm gonna put student because it's not actually an occupation. Now, how do we get a fucking picture of these two? Little League team is nationally recognized. So Mark Smith, damn. Is there a picture of Little League in Miami newspaper? So here's the problem. Let's just. What is it called again? It's the Miami Mercury. Miami Mercury is, yeah, it's defunct. I forget what year. Does this even say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so not only is there not going to be anything about the kids, there's probably nothing about Sharon. Actually, definitely nothing about Sharon. Maybe not even anything about Barbara. Maybe. Maybe a birth notice. No. Yeah, maybe a birth notice. Maybe a birth notice, and that's it. So. Is there a chance that he's taking his new... Damn. His Little League team's nationally recognized, but I can't find anything about him. I did search this, right? Yeah. Look up. Sure. Brings us right back to this. Let's do the periodical search. We could search Pete. Nope. I guess I could just search Cricket York. Nope, just about this. Arithmetic is a math textbook publishing company. They were in the news last year when a primetime news program did a full comparison of the 4th edition textbooks from 96 and their 5th edition textbooks from 98. Schools were complaining that the two editions seemed remarkably similar, yet Arithmetic was charging almost double for the newer edition they had for the previous ones. The news program announced that between the two books, there were 16 total changes. Most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet creating concentric rings on a lake to a close-up of a feather. The other 15 were all instances of changing 4th to 5th. This even led to a geometry problem where the book asked students to calculate the 5th side of a rectangle. Nobody starts to record arithmetic seems related to your search. Educate to You is a tutoring service that would deal with and feature some of the actors in the show and pictures on the website. Or a site that actually provide tutoring for all the actors and actresses in the show to accommodate their shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who's seen a photo labeled Cricket, and her brother's ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. Find much else about Educate to You, except there seems to be a small subsection of library fans who are deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which appear after the credits of each episode. One writes, I was terrified of the little girl in the Educate to You logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll, and I'd race the TV every day to switch style before Google Laugh came on. Oh. I see. All right. This motherfucker. And by that, I mean, he's not, apparently, because he's got no kids, Lieutenant Dan. Fuck you, Barb Williams Flyer. You can't hurt me anymore. Is there anything I can get in here? Okay. How do we find your kid? How did we get to... Motherfucker. Piece of Asia has its headquarters in Butler County. It is listed occasionally under many different contexts. Many local businesses are. Nothing is important except the first mention from 81. Newspaper chronicles that Jerry Han had traveled from China to open the company, which is connected to a much larger company overseas called Lang Tai. That is connected to Roottree. It's not a factory, it simply imports and distributes Lang Tai's products. This mentions that Jerry is the son-in-law of the current leader of Lang Tai, someone close to the family who learned English in school. He naturally raised through the ranks as they expanded and reached America. Although Jerry's wife Linda doesn't speak English at all, she's currently taking classes and he's teaching her at home. He says she has always been a fast learner and hopes that she'll be at least conversational by the time she gives birth. According to articles, it's not the first time they were in Butler. It was in the late 70s with the rest of the leadership of Lang Tai and trying to court the Rootrees. It seems the first trip wasn't covered by the newspaper. I guess I can spider search you. There we go. Well, we have a name for you now. Mark. Well, fuck. I don't know if that's his birth name. Jerry, Linda, and Mark Hahn appeared recently on a website called Focus on Philanthropy under the headline Hangin' with the Hans. The Hans were chosen because they donate significantly to causes that further Chinese American culture. Jerry and Linda were both born in China and fell in love during college. Linda's father led a large company. Article never names it. After expanding to the U.S., Linda's father approved their marriage as long as Jerry took over the use portion of the business. Linda jokes that the entire situation is like something out of a Alanis Morissette song with how ironic it all ended up. It's like rain on your wedding day. I was absolutely terrified to move to the United States, but my big sister was desperate in love with the idea. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on a wall and was obsessed with Robert Redford. Somehow, Jerry and I were the ones sent here. Now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, we never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Kids are complete opposite, though. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he's old enough. He's actually in business school in China now, working with my sister. Oh, he's in school! Our niece, who grew up there, was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get here. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school. Flew out here as soon as she graduated. The name change apparently drove my sister absolutely loco. Huh? I mean, look. This is her kid. Right? Lucy Lang is not exactly a common name, but it's not the most uncommon you come across either. There are a few that come up with any searchable details, so it might be possible to narrow down your possibilities. Lucy Lang is mentioned on a robotics website as part of Team Talon Claw. Team Talon Claw are one of only 2 teams from the US participating on a new robot-based show in the UK. Another Lucy Lang is part of a small women's a cappella group in Los Angeles called the Gin and Tonics. Third, Lucy Lang works in New York for a business called Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited. Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited is a company located in New York City. Lucy Lang is the lead synergy engineer who's being ranked one of the top facilitators in the world by Business Watch magazine. As far as you can tell, CSSU is a company that other companies hire as consultants to increase productivity. It's unclear the exact services they provide. The site is light on details. There are a few high-profile companies listed on their site as former clients. You recognize their names, but none of them are related to your current investigation. You want me to periodical search this? We'll periodical search this. Ah, okay. It is not It is not this Lucy Lang. Lucy Lang was listed in Business Watch for her work at Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited. She's an article about consultants that corporations hire to facilitate large internal changes. Each person listed in the article has a small bio section, followed by a long description about why they were chosen. Lucy's bio section mentions she grew up in a small Arkansas town, oldest of 4 children. She's only the second person in her family to ever even left the state. Her grandparents relocated in the early 1900s. She earned a degree from prestigious Newark College, started as a junior associate synergy engineer. In 8 short years, worked her way up the company ladder. Now at age 32, she's the youngest lead synergy engineer in the company's history. Article calls her one of the top facilitators in the U.S. due to her work on a merger between 2 regional dial-up service providers. As a direct result of her organizational change in policies, the new company managed to eliminate over 200 redundant positions as part of the merger, making it an instant success. Please be. Genealogical are a college a cappella group out of Los Angeles. Lucy Lang is listed as soprano. Seemed to be much else about her other than her name, and she performs as a soloist on a song called Like the Wind. The group was featured on a CD compilation called Boca, performing a cover of a popular boy band song. Doesn't seem relevant to your search. I'll be the judge of that. Boca stands for Best of College a cappella and has existed since 1995. It's a compilation of various a cappella groups from different colleges, often performing covers of popular music. It does appear very relevant to the Roottrees or anyone connected to the Roottrees. Nobody's ever done a cover of a song by Jim and Diamond, for example. Maybe someday. Alright. I'm gonna say we go back to Team Talonclaw. Oh, Mid-Eastern University. Really? The robot, also named Talonclaw, has been selected for appearance on the second season of British television show focused on robot fighting. Robot, by the way. Small blurb mentions that robot fighting leagues have existed for a few years. We've been recent moves to televise it. Talonclaw is one of 2 teams selected from the US. Robotics Club is a text-only site you find linked from the university student section. The site seems like it's used mostly to announce the schedule to its members. The club is supposed to meet every Tuesday and Thursday. Last 8 dates have all been canceled because a few members of the team are currently in the UK filming. Another date from a few weeks back was canceled for an interview with a school newspaper. At the bottom, the traveling members of Talonclaw are listed as Team Captain Jaya Patel, supporting members Lucy Lang, Kurt. Okay. And Kurt Hauser. That's why you can search Hauser. This is why they don't want you just be able to search the periodicals, because this would have given away. Are you fucking kidding me? All this time spent trying to find the nephew, and indeed. Well, at least the at least the profession's right. I don't even want to read the article. I'm mad. I am madging. Locked in Possible Infidelity 1, Locked in Possible Infidelity 2, Locked in Possible Infidelity 3. Booyah. Right, you only just figured that one out? Yep.
Hey again. I know you probably thought you were done.
That one was easy mode? I know.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Let me guess. The legal company is not, or the legal organization is not doing what you thought you were going to do.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach.
Me pretending to know what's happening.
Just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring...
Good night, Mim. Have a good night.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's. Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential root trees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's. But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
Uh-huh.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a root tree,
Or any you've got definitive evidence are root trees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Putting together a tree of potential new root trees, Clark and Sam appear at your door together. According to Clark, Ruby Spratt, the company's lawyer, was caught throwing away the DNA samples from Bonnie Hudson. These were intended to be used to test new potential root trees. Something doesn't sit right with Sam, and the two of them asked for your help. We hope that with your evidence and understanding of the family tree, you can verify which people in dotted boxes are almost certainly legitimate root trees, very unlikely to be legitimate root trees, and which of them are too ambiguous to make a decision one way or another. Additionally, with suspicion of Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of her behaviors in the past have also been cast into doubt. Your section of the tree has been added for you to fill in. Okay. Possible root tree. Hold on. What? You haven't found this clue. What? What? Why are... How many... Okay, so we know he is. We're done. We're done with that. Why am I saying BS right now? Good question. Okay. We're going to say not a root tree for Stuart. Remember I was talking about, wait, by the time they met Miracle, Stuart was already in the picture. I think it even says here. Yeah. First visit was 49. And she and her son are welcome to stay our guest today. Hi, Faith! Now, the question... Stuart. We're fucking missing two! Why? I'm going to say might be. What the fuck is this clue? Think all the missing clues are bullshit? I mean, we haven't found everything. Let's be smart about this. What? We're saying yes. Look at that goddamn hair and tell me that is not Guy's son. But also, what the fuck? Also, I guess this is what mentions... Okay. We've actually found everything on them. Is the void back today? It is now gone. I just hadn't turned on the camera because stream's close to done. Probably run or do the snoozes when they come up in about 5 minutes, and then once that's done, we're gonna be done. I think Thomas Hughes is very convinced that these weren't his kids. So let's say yes. Hydrate, thank you. So I'm confused. When the hell were you born? I mean, I'm so confused about this one. I think Mark Hahn is still a Roottree. My guess is what happened is they were going to pass this off as she was doing IVF. Yeah, so no, there was a very big deal about key genes will sometimes claim they performed IVF when they did not. This would often be used as an excuse for an otherwise unexplainable pregnancy. Fly the clients to America when they would stay for an extended period of time, they return channel news of successful IVF pregnancy. So there was, my assumption was that's what she did for the nephew. What I think now happened was she went through that, but then once it came out that Key Genes was being shady, she just kept Min. And then I'm assuming because the nephew isn't here that he was actually born. Well, no, they said something about her sister actually being pregnant. Shut up about the Minecraft Stranger Things DLC. Let's be bold. Let's say yes. I don't. Guy had another. That's where this comes in. Guy had another. Okay. This is obviously Ruby. Right? She's a lawyer. Where the... Wait. She's married? I have 5... Oh. Is this... Huh. Okay. Thank you for the snooze. Okay, so there's 3 clues we haven't even found yet. Five possible root trees left. Oh, those are the 1, 2, so 1, 2. Hold on. Are the blues count against? Oh, okay. So I have to say yes or no on every one. Because otherwise I have 1, 2, 3 left. But it says I have 5 left. Okay. I'm going to say yes. Here. I'm going to say yes here. The elder garland is a root tree and the younger no. Based off of what? Wasn't she a secretary that got married fast to Garland and then they had a kid? Yes. But also... she was, I think they met at, no. She was going to the swinger parties, but I think he was too. Like, I don't, like, she definitely slept with Guy. I'm not saying she didn't sleep with Guy, but I don't, like, these two definitely look like chips off the old block. Which makes me think that they have both the same parents and not just the same mom. So I'm feeling fairly confident in saying no to either of them. I'm probably wrong. I wouldn't go. That seems like a stretch of saying. What if the guy cheated on his wife with his wife? Yo, true. Okay. Why is it saying I have 3 left? Huh? Why is it saying I have 3 left? Yeah, that's one of them. Oh, I guess because of these. Well, I'm going to say you're definitely not. So I guess it's these 3. These Sprat. Okay. Oh, right. I was like, what? That's because you go over here. No, that's okay. Let's look at this. What the fuck is they doing out there? Snooze 2. Okay. Thank you. Christine Garland. That's... Yeah. That's you. There's so many names. When was Emily Seinfeld hired? I mean, there's a bunch of... Oh, you're at Farm and Manufacturing. Oh. No, it's not going to be you then. Wait. Oh, she was hired here. My bad. Oh, are you... Where the fuck is that picture? She and another woman were hired at the same time during a transition period where many of the secretaries that worked under Zach Morton were already gone. So, Beatrice Watts and Corrine Schwartz. Corrine Schwartz comes with a few articles from local news stations in Pennsylvania. Some of the people attempting to track down Anonymom were harassing her. She recently had to take a leave of absence because people showed up at the car dealership where she works. She's begging people to stop being executed so she can get back to normal life. Every article you find, journalists involved independently verified she is not Anonymom. But Beatrice Watts, on the other hand... Then she left at 80. They both left at the same time. Yeah. I think that's the red herring. She and another woman were hired at the same time during a transition period while many of the secretaries worked under Zach Morton were already gone. So here's 3, thank you. Which... Oh, I guess you're right. It would be Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing. Why is Corrine Schwartz the only one that comes up? Corrine Schwartz resides in Pennsylvania, though it appears she lives beyond the Butler County limits. She was named in a national tabloid. People come to her peace place where accused her of being a non-mom. Uncle says it's possible for her to be a non-mom because her only child is still in middle school. Unless her son's gestation period is approximately 10 years, it doesn't appear like Corrine could have been involved in any potential affairs in your tree. And then all of them were fired as Beatrice Watts, Lisa Lewis, Valerie Ewing, right? Huh. All right. I'm going to say I've run out of time. Let's. You know what? No, we'll say no. I feel pretty confident about that. How do I? Yes or no? How do I? Now's the time to review all possible root trees and to put your deductions. You'll then be able to end your search and reveal the truth. You have 3 possible root trees left to identify. Filling in this person is optional. Filling in this person is optional. So if it's optional, why am I not able to? Splash, do you mind quickly looking up for me? I can put a check on her? Oh. I can. Then what's left? Checkbox up in Miracle's actual tree? Huh? Up in Miracle's actual tree? What do you mean by Miracle's actual tree? Not Miracle. Oh. Oh. What? Why? Huh? Yeah. I can't wait for the drama when I'm wrong. But first, here's the final option entry you found. No more optional entries left for next time. Booyah.
You added Beatrice Watts to the tree? Her daughter's name is actually Courtney May Watts.
I'll talk to Beatrice again myself. Maybe there was something odd going on with her daughter's test. If there is, we'll test the DNA in person.
Did I actually add that? That's my bad. I didn't mean to do that.
Using the family tree you filled out, as well as DNA tests, we were able to uncover the truth behind all the inconsistencies. Clark's handling the business, but I've come to thank you and fill you in on everything we've learned. Buckle up, because it's been one heck of a week. Actually, that's an understatement. It's not every week you discover your family company is being sabotaged by someone they trusted. But that's the kind of time we've been having. Like I said, buckle
Oh,
up.
God, this is going to take longer than 5 minutes, isn't it?
We'll start with Guy Hudson.
Okay, no, we're going to run this ad now. We're going to come back immediately after, and we'll do all this. So see you guys in 3 minutes. All right, we're back. We can turn this on so you can see my reactions of, fuck, I fucked that up, which is probably going to be most of my reactions. All right, so let's find the answers.
Guy had a frankly ridiculous number of potential children. What shocked me
Uh-oh.
is how many graduated from potential to confirmed.
You got at least 75% correct?
We can even prove he was aware of them. The smoking gun was how he used company money to pay off a lot of women.
Was every single fucking flavor thing supposed to represent a different person?
He hid it with a method inspired by his idol, Elias. 5-piece flavors.
Fuck me.
The flavors he was paying to research were a ruse. He developed flavors based on the initials of the women he was paying. Which was really stupid, considering one of their names started with X.
That's funny. Wait, so we didn't lock in Beatrice. It just did it for us? That's weird.
Let's start with Christine. Guy was paying her under the name Caviar, but there were some other clues. James was born 9 months after Zach's party.
Okay.
Christine was there with Guy, and when she got pregnant, she panicked. Steve stepped up. He even turned it into one
She
of
had
his
already
best
prepared buns for the Ballas ovens. Oh no! I even read that line. It was like, bun in the oven.
Not all of Guy's affairs led to offspring. He may have slept with Robin Martin, but she didn't have children.
That's what I meant.
So we'll never know.
That was my Discord.
Also, not every child of Guy's affair partners were his. Robert Garland was born after his parents.
Okay,
already moved to
so
Boston.
interesting. They look so alike, but I mean, it like obviously Robert is not his.
Skipping Beatrice for now. Up next is Lang Xin-yu.
Xin-yu.
When Guy showed up in China,
Yep,
she
you got
was
that
into
one right.
America. And Americans. Dare I say redheads, even?
I was thinking it with the Robert Redford. I should have said it. I don't get points for thinking it
When
and not
she got
saying it.
pregnant, her father paid key genes to fake IVF. They claimed her sister was unable to conceive. But her sister and Jerry had their own son, Mark. Sonia Alves was soon after. Nia was married at a very young age to a much older husband.
Nia Alves. What the? How the fuck was I supposed to find Nia Alves? What?
She resented him. I don't blame her. They allegedly spent no time together in private.
How am I supposed to get Transmisapalo?
Guy was in Brazil during Christmas 1979. It's the only Christmas not in the records. Flavio was born 9 months later, and like the others, Guy started paying Sonia.
Look at the goddamn hair.
Last was Susan Ford, hired to translate for Guy's overseas trips. It's easy to read into Guy's donation to her school, but there's no definitive proof there. She and Guy were witnessed together near the end of his life.
What?
Susan's husband was convinced he couldn't be the father of her daughters. Guy, though, paid double. The price of twins.
Ah.
So, what about 5Ps? Felix Fellow's mother, Joanna, doesn't have a 5 pieces flavor.
Oh.
On top of that, his story doesn't really add up. His mother already left the company by the time Guy became president. and his lyrics indicate he was born sometime around 1975. Alone, that wouldn't necessarily prove it. But there are some suspicious connections between Felix and the company's current lawyer, Ruby Spratt. They both grew up in Portland, in foster care, and according to the local paper, they definitely knew one another.
Okay.
Ruby was the one who approached the Roottrees to begin with. It was all a setup. Ruby and Felix saw my book's challenge to the Clancet Trust as an opportunity. His mother really had worked for Roottree, and Ruby was a respected lawyer. She exploited my family's greed, worked her way into control of the trust, and ensured Felix got a piece. But they made some mistakes along the way. If you look at the 2 DNA tests that Ruby handled, they were both supposedly tested against Bonnie Hudson.
How the fuck was I supposed to find this? What?
But the 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie don't match. After Clark and I confronted her, Ruby lawyered up. We suspect Ruby had Genetico test Felix against his own mother's DNA. He had a hairbrush of hers. They sent the female sample in remotely. On the second test, Bonnie's sample was tested locally, but Courtney May's was not. Ruby's been throwing away samples. We think she sent her own hair instead of Courtney May's, but it could have been anyone's. Ruby and Felix were in cahoots. As for why, they were both advocates of wealth redistribution.
Based.
A noble effort. But once they controlled the family fortune, they became just as greedy as the worst members of my family. The money corrupted them.
Yep.
They were so eager to personally wield the wealth for their own cause that they sabotaged any other claims. That finally brings us to Anonymom, aka Beatrice Watts. Her tales of guys' parties and payoffs were true. She even approached Ruby before 5Ps was on news time.
How was I supposed to get Courtney May Watts?
Ruby used Beatrice's truths to make Felix's lies feel real, then ruined the DNA test so that Beatrice looked phony in the public court of opinion. I feel worst for her in all of this. While Ruby and Felix stole the show, there were some other potential new family members as well. Miracle Roottree was less of an open and shut case. That said, it's very likely he had a son with Mary Beth Clementine. Not Stuart. Mary Beth adopted him before she ever set foot in Butler County. That leaves Mark. The timeline fits. He showed up about 9 months after Mary Beth visited Miracle, and the basket baby story is a bit too convenient. If that's not enough on its own...
Oh, I never looked up this.
He was also bailed out by the sister of Edith Roottree, Miracle Jr.'s wife, after she changed her name to win that silly contest.
I forgot to search this. Damn.
Our best guess is that Mark was told by his mother whose son he was, and used that fact to put some pressure on Miracle Jr. We have no real proof of that, but nothing else really makes sense for why they'd be connected in that way.
Okay.
Elias's affair was the most ambiguous. Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias to do things he wouldn't have otherwise done, like pressure to include me in the family. My son even mentioned them arguing about someone named Beth. Combined with Gwyneth's lisp, it's possible the name was actually Bess.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Unfortunately, all we know about Bess Williams is that she wrote his book and died not long after, leaving her only son an orphan. The timeline fits with Wildcat, but there's no record if she had any other relationship. Honestly,
Okay, so I was
wouldn't
supposed to
say
leave
we
him as
have enough
ambiguous.
evidence either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Elias cheated. Of course, I'm a bit biased. Regardless, we haven't gotten in touch with any of the Williams clan yet. That means we haven't been able to do a DNA test. As Clark mentioned, from here on out, all of our DNA tests will be in person for both parties.
So maybe.
Lastly, we have a bit of a curveball. Ron Roottree isn't related to us by blood. Gwyn was definitely pregnant, so it's likely Robbie is.
Huh.
When Ron and Robbie went to visit their mother at the end of her life, something changed. Additionally, there have been a few rumors circling around Ron. RR Productions canceled the Guys Like Us remake due to the director's illness. At the same time, Ron's wife Penelope began doing benefits for Huntington's disease, stating that she had become familiar with it. Huntington's is the same disease that Gwyn's former co-star Leslie Florence had. It's passed from parent to child. It can't skip a generation. Because Gwyn and Wild Bill didn't have Huntington's, and Ron seems to, it's impossible Gwyn was his mother. I recently confirmed all this with Ron. At the end of her life, Gwyn told Ron the story. Leslie and Bill had an affair the same year Leslie learned she had Huntington's. Leslie got pregnant. Leslie wasn't likely to survive to see her child grow up, and even if she did, she didn't want to be a burden. She begged Gwyn and Wild Bill to adopt her child.
What kind of fucking house plot is this?
Gwyn did. Mere weeks after she found out she was having her own son, she also took in Ron. Wild Bill was a problem. Unreliable and a serial adulterer. Gwyn divorced him and never saw him again. Gwyn had already told Starlet she was pregnant, so it never really made waves when people saw her with a child in Paris. There was gossip during her divorce when she was discovered to be pregnant again. In actuality, it was the final months of her only pregnancy. To lay low, she stayed in Paris long enough that even her own family never had reason to question the timeline. It's one heck of a story, and frankly, nobody could be expected to piece the timeline together. Not with what few mentions of Gwyn's past have survived. But the Huntingtons itself? That's proof. Ron suing Robbie to remove him from the Clancid Trust was a huge moment in my story, and a major catalyst for this entire investigation. Finding out that it's been pretty much backwards this whole time has been a bit surreal. So that's where we're at. Looking over the information you sent us was useful.
Even though I got a lot of it wrong.
Your tree had us recheck over everything, and we caught the inconsistencies. All this information, this entire story, it's a lot, in more ways than one. Some of it has the potential to destroy marriages and ruin relationships.
Which marriage would be destroyed by it? Wait, like genuinely, which marriage would be destroyed by this? There's only one couple that's still married. And according to her, he knew it wasn't his kid. And every other marriage is already considered donezo at this point. Susan Ford isn't married. Lang Xinyu isn't married. Sonia Alvarez isn't married. I feel like I'm looking at part of my own failure, someone else's failure. It's, yeah. And then, like, everyone else is past.
We're handling it all very, very carefully. Couldn't have gotten here without you. And with that, I guess our tale has finally.
No. We specifically, that's the first one I mentioned. Is he, according to her, he knew. He stepped up. He even made a reference to it in his story about how she already had a bun in the oven. Like, that's the only marriage.
No words can express how grateful I am to you for untangling this mess. Honestly, I've had enough of my family's eccentricities and scandals for one lifetime. I imagine you have as well. And if not, well, there's always Elias's and Gwyneth's brothers and sisters.
Do I actually get a third playthrough?
Attention, Roottrees. This is 5-Piece coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems.
So, base game's great. There's some little things with the puzzles that are a little annoying, but base game's great. Roottree all of those issues come to the forefront. Oh, I guess there was the hints thing.
Should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing. Catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners because we didn't earn it. When all of your worth it came free with your name, you expect me to treat.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did Roottree, but man, I don't even know where I'm supposed to have gotten. Hi, sir. Where I'm supposed to have gotten that last name that I didn't get. I understand. I don't even know where I would have gotten the hunting days thing. That whole fucking that whole thing about Huntington's. I guess there was a number of names I was supposed to search again, and I didn't search enough of them.
That's actually extortion with your candy ass name. Synonymous with sweets. Oh, you wanna call me classless? I'm gangster from Portland, but I play that game. I came up on the streets.
I think by the time the periodicals in the first portion in the base game did a good job of, well, for the most part, they did a good job of like, hey, this is relevant for multiple things. There's one or two. The teen one, I don't think had multiple articles, at least not that were relevant by the time I found it. And I think that problem was exacerbated with the ones in the Unsplash. So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I did it. I think you really need to have enjoyed this game. I think you need to have really enjoyed this game to really enjoy Roottree. And like, I enjoyed it, but there's a level of it like they unsplash or splash. I can't believe they do this. Anyway. Good night, Faith. Thank you for stopping by. Click the cassette icon in game to see detailed credits for each song. Thank you. Okay. Winton. Lucas Pope gets a special thanks. Oberdin mentioned. Theme version of the Rootrees Are Dead contains no generative AI work. These credits are for the original free version of the game. Oh. 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 Huh. Okay. You just go to a different game jam. Yeah. That's a little disappointing. There's this. It happened with Claire Obscure. And it's a weird thing with this, and I'm starting to sense it's a trend in the video game industry, is this belief that if AI isn't in your final product, then that's like that counts for saying, look at us. Like, it was used for placeholder. Unfortunately, that isn't uncommon. Well, I want to make it uncommon again. That's how I feel about it. The main reason is creativity comes from like pushing your boundaries. So, are you really bad drawing concept art? Draw it anyway. If that's really something you can't do, then probably this is not the industry for you. The other problem I have is something that I didn't. Well, the other problem got pointed out to me, I think, like today actually, is there's some very serious problems with this new practice of we're going to use placeholders that actually look real. Is sometimes the benefit of placeholders is like being so bad is very clear that it's a placeholder. Every Paradox game in the smiley face representing in the character spot is a very common one where you can very clearly be like, oh shit, that's not supposed to be there. That's a placeholder. We need to make sure we implement something. It's easy to forget about them. Yep. The black and white checker texture has been a mainstay as a placeholder texture for probably decades in video game development, and it's a clear way of being like, oh shit, this is an easy reminder if we need to work on this. And so, yeah, the placeholder stuff doesn't ring true to me at all. Video games some really good video games were made using shit placeholders. You don't need to use AI for placeholders or for creating concept art or any of this stuff. That's an excuse, it's not a tool. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. I need to go work on dinner. We're gonna go raid the Shishmet. Oh, of course he went fucking AFK right when I want to go raid him. But it's his birthday. Are you guys comfortable with going and hang out in someone's stream, even if they're not there, just to wish him a happy birthday when he gets back? It's also unfortunately found its way in board game prototypes as well. Oh, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. Like, it's... I have to go either way. That's fair. I hate to raid someone who's not there, but I really want to raid him for his birthday. But I also know the reality is people raid, say hi, and then go find whatever else they're trying to go do. But it's his birthday, so we're going to go do it anyway. If you're not subbed, very easy. Just go get him. Just go say Feels Birthday Man. Really, one viewer? Huh. Okay. Well, that makes it easy. Let's go get him Boot Snoot when he gets back. See you guys over there. See you back here Monday. Got another puzzle game lined up. It looks fun. Thanks for watching.